Greetings, friends. Tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about swords for various forms of armored and unarmored combat and their context in, well, in this case, my personal journey. Starting out with a glass of New Belgium 1554 ale. This is a great way to, definitely a great way to start one's evening. Anyway, a while back I shifted focus from 16th century reenactment and impressions to more late 14th to early 15th century, and I decided to take a wide-ranged approach to this involving weapons and weapon analogs. This sharp is made by Ronin Katana, and I acquired this from Theory and Arms. I did have some upscaling work done on it by Kevin Franklin, who redid the grip, which is considerably nicer than what it came with. It's an excellent cutting blade. He also redid the black scabbard and set it up for a more historical carry and appearance. You've seen in the previous videos us doing test cutting with this. It's a Type 18B, low cost, entry model longsword. It works fairly well. I've made a deliberate attempt to acquire training analogs that to some degree represent this in terms of weight, length, and balance as best I can. That hasn't been exceptionally easy. For HEMA type combat, this Ensifer Red in their standard length comes close to the length of the sharp longsword. It's lighter because it's a fencing weapon, but it's still got an exceptional blade presence. This isn't the cheapest solution for fighting. Some places I fight in the reenactment community require a more flexible blade, and I go even lighter using in this case, Reginier short, which is about the same length of the sharp longsword. The Ensifer. Now, when I get into armored fighting, I start to have a little bit of a deviation in direction towards what I'm going to be using for analogs for fighting in armor. For Harnischfechten, which really to me is an amazing connoisseur art, you're fighting armor is worn. Plate is considered impervious generally to the edge and point of the sword, dagger, and spear, and susceptible to damage from the poleaxe. So much of the fighting is done at the half sword and is done trying to find gaps in the armor. Purple Heart Armory, after talking with them, got VB to produce this Harnischfechten sword, which has a cutout area like you see in some of the manuscripts for a judicial combat type sword. It is very stiff. It's good for grappling, it's good for half swording, depending on your rule set, some use of the moored schlag and the pommel. The tip in this case is tipped with a hiking stick tip, which prevents it from going through most visors that are compliant with the Lynx Accords, the Palmer Accords, and the DeKoven Concord. A while back, I decided to delve into fighting with the local Buhert team, the Tulsa Free Company, and acquired a used analog. This is a Tilco for longsword duels. Notice that since the Buhert game doesn't use the point at all, the tip is rounded, it's untipped. You just don't throw thrusts. It's an excellent prowess game. It is an endurance fight, and definitely a challenge. Now, I ended up here recently agreeing to fight what's called a duels fight with the Tulsa Free Company. On the 29th, I'm going to fight a sword and buckler duel with one of their team members in an exhibition fight, which I'm really looking forward to. For that, I'll be using in this case, either this Medieval Extreme arming sword, which I had made to have just slightly over the minimal allowable weight. This thing uncrosses wonderfully, allows me to work around the buckler, and is a very agile weapon even for that sport. Most of my training prior to that, I've actually been using another VB product that has about another 1.5 to 2 inches of length over the Medieval Extreme one. I put this on a weight loss program. It came in right at the top allowable weight for duels, and I reduced it to grinding with instructions from Benaiah Anderson to a point where it is around 1,200 grams, and it's still a tad bit heavier than the other one, but it does have better reach. I'll know after this week's Pell work which direction I'm really going to go on that for Saturday. I do also enjoy arming sword in a HEMA context, so in that case I end up using this Type 15 that I got from Reginier. It's got very good blade presence, binds well, it's rigid enough that I can use it in armor as worn combat where one-handed thrusting is allowed, like you'll see in the Lynx Accords, like you'll see in some of the other reenactment societies allowing. And I use it a great deal in unarmored HEMA. I'm really not a 133 or Liegenitzer guy. I try. Most of my background's been in Bolognese side sword, so I end up using it a lot like that. But hopefully that'll give everybody a little bit of an idea of directions they can go with sharp weapons, blunt weapons that are focused for different types of environments that call on they have different needs of different flexibility, different degrees of rigidity, but all in all, to experience all the things, I've kind of had to acquire this small collection. In the next few sessions, we're going to discuss armor optimization and armor needs for both duels in Buhurt and Harnischfechten. So I'll be posting some videos with that. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening.